Hamilton is available on Disney Plus and is from the NYC Richard Rodgers Theater back in June of 2016. It's a live recording, and we get to see this grand landscape-changing musical in all its glory, all its form, on Disney Plus. So how is it? How does it hold up after all the critics and all the audience members and everybody basically praise this thing up the goddamn ass? How was it? If you're a fan of musicals, you will enjoy this. Even if you're not a fan of musicals, you will probably enjoy this. The only thing I ever heard critique of was the hip-hop influence, and that was if you're a fan of hip-hop music or not. I will say right off the bat that as a fan of some musicals, I went in with a little bit of apprehension because every time I hear anything's praised like crazy, oh, it's the greatest thing ever, oh, this is so moving, or oh, this. Anytime you hear and see heaps of praise put on a movie or put on a musical or put on anything, you're going to kind of go in with a little bit of apprehension. Like, is it really that good? Do I want to get my expectations too high? Like, is it really going to be as good as everybody says? I'm happy to report that this is fucking phenomenal. I'm not mixing words right there. It's fucking phenomenal. The performances are great. The mixture of music is absolutely great. The way they tell the stories and, you know, move through history and everything and keep a breezy pace to it is actually quite amazing. And it's by no means a short movie. It is 2.5 hours before the end credits even start rolling. But it is really goddamn good. Like, it is goddamn good. Every bit of hype that surrounds this movie is absolutely deserved. And the performances, my God, I'm just going to go through some of the cast. One, all the cast from the, you know, the people in the background to those that get a few, you know, a few lines here and there. Those are just, you know, the chorus. They are absolutely great as well. But like Phillipa Soo, who played Eliza Hamilton, she's great. Her role grows throughout the entire thing. The show-stealing performance, in my personal opinion, Daveed Diggs. He was fucking great. He played Thomas Jefferson. He was absolutely fucking great. Like, seriously, check this guy out. This guy, if he wants to do stage, if he wants to do film, whatever, I believe he is a rapper. I read a little bit about it, and if he can turn that, you know, that influence into like a stage and film career, he's going to go far. He's got the stage presence. He's got everything, you know, that it's going to take to be a leading man. Renee Elise Goldsberry, she played Angelica Shelley, Schuyler. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing some of these names. I'm kind of, you know, I'm kind of with my head in the clouds because I'm still getting over experiencing this movie. Chris Jackson, who played George Washington, he was really good as well. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the guy who played Hercules Mulligan. He was show-stealing as well. Big presence, could play a bodyguard in movies, could play, you know, stuff. He could play, you know, roles in dramatic, you know, in dramatic film if he so chooses. Lin-Manuel Miranda, who played Alexander Hamilton, he was absolutely great as well. I really have no complaints about the cast. And I'm not going to get too much into all the story. This really is something you should experience. But, you know, the formation of America and the divisiveness among, you know, Hamilton's views, how he handles success, you know, George Washington, all this, all these people that are just doing a lot of the, you know, they're just trying to, you know, they're trying to form America, but at the same time, while they got away from the British regime, they wanted to try and get they wanted to try and, you know, get their own influence and everything. They want to be the reason for success. They get jealous of each other and everything. But some want the country to be free, you know, some want it to be ruled like this. It really is a nicely detailed way of showing how great this, you know, how great this musical is, but how, you know, there's a lot of shit that they really got to dive into, and there's a lot of stuff that, if you study your history books and everything, you probably do know, but this is a nice way of presenting it where the youth can enjoy it, older people can enjoy it, really anybody can enjoy this movie. I want to point out a few songs that I really enjoyed and then talk about a few scenes. So don't be surprised if there are some spoilers here in a little bit, but if you've seen the movie, I mean, and also if you know anything about history, none of this is really going to shock you. But some songs, and pretty much every song in this is at least good. These are the ones that stood out to me. My Shot, Rise Up, Those were really good ones. You'll Be Back. Right Hand Man, that one was pretty good. I really like that one. Helpless, Satisfied, Yorktown, Dear Theodosia, Nonstop, What I Missed, The Room Where It Happens, One Last Time, It's Quiet Uptown, and then the closing one, where Philippa Soo, sings and like closes it and everything. Now, what was great about it is just the energy and chemistry between the cast. They really absolutely nailed it. I wasn't sure for the first 20 minutes what I was going to think, I will be honest. I got more into it, and by about the time we got to my shot, I was like, okay, I'm getting it. I think my shot actually came a little bit sooner, but when we got to that, when we got to Right Hand Man, I was in. I was all in. I was all ready for this shit, and I was all ready to see what was going to happen. But just the interaction between the cast, the energy was infectious, and everything was just really, really good. Like, this was absolutely well done from start to finish. There are no complaints here. I did like they had some good humor, which I actually thought was pretty good. The cabinet scene was fun, where they're all trying to negotiate all the stuff, like trying to figure out how debts are done and stuff like that. That was pretty cool. The on-stage chemistry was what I particularly enjoyed, because if you don't have good chemistry, even if, say, the actors don't get along backstage, I mean, I don't know if this cast did or didn't get along backstage. If you don't have good chemistry on stage, you're not going to make a stage play work. I've seen some local ones, and that was like a number of years ago at a stage theater up in the city, or in the city south of me, and also a couple in Seattle. And if you can, and sometimes you could tell, okay, they're just kind of going through the motions. But other times you could tell they were locked in, they were absolutely enjoying it. And that's what this cast is doing. One particularly quotable line, this is after it's revealed that Alexander Hamilton had cheated on his wife. Eliza writes to her sister, or gets a letter from her sister. It's like, you married an Icarus, he's flown too close to the sun. That's a line that sticks. What really got me, though, and I mean, what happens if you read your history book, is when the son got shot. And I'm like, okay, everything right there just really clicks. The emotion really hits like a tidal wave. And then from there, we get to the end and everything, and yeah, everything gets wrapped up in, what will Eliza's legacy be, Alexander Hamilton's legacy. It's all about the formation of the country. It's all about, accepting that nobody is perfect. Everybody's got flaws. And really, there's no good or bad. Everybody's got, there was no definite good, definite bad in this sense. Everybody had their motives, and you could understand their motives, and it wasn't necessarily like Alexander Hamilton, George Washington or whatever were the best people or the worst people. But everybody, it's like, okay, there's really good people, but damn, they got some issues that they got to work out. And then you can see the points of even people that are kind of perceived as the villains and kind of not, so they really wrap up all this stuff nice and neatly. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, that scene where the son got shot, the scene, and the subsequent surgery scene where he's on the table, and Alexander and Eliza are over him. That was really good stuff. The person who played the son, I am write his name down. He was pretty good as well. He wasn't in it too long and too much, but he was pretty good as well. That was something where I'm just like, okay, click right there. That's where the movie really nails it. I mean, it nailed it a few times before, but it hit a lot of peaks. Didn't really have a lot of valleys. Again, I can see why the hip-hop music might turn some people off, but don't let that keep you away from watching and enjoying this movie. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, it deserves every bit of praise it got. A+, 100%. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.